The invitation that wasn't. My phone buzzed on a Tuesday afternoon. I was elbow deep in spreadsheets at my marketing job in Chicago, half listening to a Zoom call about Q3 deliverables. The notification was from a family group chat I'd long since muted. It was my mother. Celebrating 35 years. Saturday, 6 p.m., formal attire. Don't be late. No, please. No, we'd love to have you. Just a command, dropped like a memo to an employee she tolerated. I stared at the screen for a full minute. My younger sister, Paige, had already responded with 3 heart emojis and a promise to bring her famous spinach artichoke dip. My older brother, Jake, sent a thumbs up. I tacked nothing. 2 hours later, my phone rang. It was my father. "We need to talk," he said, his voice flat in that way I'd learned to dread. "About Saturday." I saw the message. I was planning to come. A pause. Then, "That's what we need to discuss. Your mother and I have decided it's better if you sit this one out." The words landed like a punch to the sternum. Sit it out? It's your 35th anniversary. I'm your daughter. "You've been so distant lately," he said, and I could hear my mother coaching him in the background, her voice a sharp whisper. "We don't want any drama, not this year, after everything with the business." And there it was, the business. 18 months ago, I discovered that my father's small accounting firm, the one my grandfather started in 1987, had been quietly cooking books for a real estate developer who's currently under federal investigation. When I confronted him, he called me a traitor. When I said I wouldn't lie to the auditors, my mother told me I had family loyalty issues. I didn't report them. I couldn't. But I also couldn't pretend anymore. So I'd kept my distance. Apparently, that made me dramatic. "Fine," I said, because arguing with my father is like arguing with concrete. "You don't want me there? I won't be there." He hung up without saying goodbye. The party I wasn't allowed to see. Saturday arrived gray and drizzly, the kind of Chicago October day that seeps into your bones. I spent the afternoon cleaning my apartment, trying not to think about the party, trying not to imagine the rented chairs, the catered dinner, the toasts I wouldn't hear. Around 7 p.m., my phone started blowing up. Paige posted first, a selfie with our parents, all 3 of them beaming in front of a balloon arch that read 35 and fabulous. My mother wore a navy sequin dress I'd never seen. My father looked tan and relaxed, probably from the golf trip they'd taken to Florida last month, the one I learned about from Instagram. I double-tapped the photo. What else was I supposed to do? Then came the videos. Jake's kids running around in tiny suits, a champagne toast led by my mother's best friend, Aunt Carol, who'd known me since I was born, but hadn't called once in the past year. The DJ playing Uptown Funk, because my parents are nothing if not predictable. I poured a glass of wine and tried to watch Netflix. Succession felt too on the nose. I settled for a home renovation show where the biggest drama was a load-bearing wall. At 9:47 p.m., Paige posted again, and everything changed. The photo that broke me. The image was innocent enough on the surface, a group shot around the dessert table, my mother cutting into a 5-tier cake, my father with his arm around her waist, Jake holding his fork like a conductor's baton, Paige smiling, wine glass in hand. But tucked into the corner, partially obscured by a floral centerpiece, but undeniably present, was a man I hadn't seen in 6 years. My Uncle Mark. Mark is my mother's younger brother. He's also a convicted felon, not for something victimless, for embezzling over $200,000 from a church youth program, the same church where I was baptized, the same program that had to shut down because of what he did. When I testified against him at his sentencing, because I was the one who found the discrepancies in the church's books back when I was just a college kid trying to help, my mother stopped speaking to me for 4 months. She said I'd betrayed family. She said I should have come to her first. I did come to her first. She told me to drop it. Mark served 18 months. He's been out for 4 years. My mother has been slowly reintegrating him into family events. First Thanksgiving, then Easter, then Jake's wedding, where I was seated at the cousins' table, away from my parents, while Mark sat next to my father. But this was different. This was their 35th anniversary. Their 35th anniversary. And they'd invited the man who stole from a church while banning me, the daughter who only ever told the truth. I zoomed in on the photo. There was Mark, glass raised, wearing a suit that probably cost more than my monthly rent. And there was my mother, cutting cake, looking at him with an expression I couldn't quite name. Pride? Approval? Relief? I felt something inside me crack. The comment that started a war. I did something I knew I'd regret. I typed a comment under Paige's photo. Beautiful party. Glad to see Uncle Mark is welcome, even though I'm not. Guess honesty really doesn't pay in this family. I hit post before I could stop myself. Within 3 minutes, my phone was vibrating nonstop. First came Paige, delete that, now, you're embarrassing us. Then Jake, not the place, call mom tomorrow. Then my mother herself in all caps, how dare you? You were the one who chose to stay away. We never banned you. I screenshotted my father's voicemail from Tuesday, the one where he explicitly said it's better if you sit this one out, and replied with the image. No caption, just the screenshot. The group chat went silent for exactly 47 seconds. I know because I counted. Then my mother called. I let it go to voicemail. Then she called again. Then my father, then Paige, then my father's mother, my grandmother, who I hadn't spoken to since she called me a disappointment to Jesus 2 Christmases ago. I turned off my phone and went to sleep. What happened next? When I woke up at 6 a.m., I had 37 text messages, 14 missed calls, and a voicemail from my mother that I still haven't listened to. But that wasn't the shocking part. The shocking part was Facebook. Somehow, I still don't know how, a screenshot of my comment had been shared to a local community group, then to a Chicago family drama page, then to Reddit. By the time I made coffee, my phone was exploding with notifications from people I'd never met. Wait, so she testified against her uncle for embezzling, and they banned her? This family sounds toxic AF. The screenshot of the dad's voicemail is chef's kiss. Someone had even found Mark's conviction record online and posted it. The comments turned vicious, not toward me, but toward my parents. People called them hypocrites, enablers, worse. By 9 a.m., Paige had deleted her original photo, but the internet is forever. The screenshots were already everywhere. At 10:15 a.m., my father sent me a text. 3 words. You killed us. I stared at those 3 words for a long time. I thought about the church youth program that closed, about the families who lost a safe place for their kids, about the 6 years I've spent being treated like the villain for telling the truth. And I wrote back, no, Dad, you did that yourselves. The aftermath. It's been 3 weeks since the party. My parents aren't speaking to me, which honestly isn't that different from before. Paige has me on restricted on Instagram. Jake calls every few days to ask if I've apologized yet. I haven't. Here's what I've learned. In some families, loyalty means lying, silence means safety, and the person who refuses to pretend is the one who gets exiled. My Uncle Mark is still coming to Sunday dinners, I'm told. My parents are still pretending he's the victim of a misunderstanding, and I'm still the daughter who ruined everything by refusing to look away. But here's the thing they don't understand. I didn't ruin anything. I just stopped protecting the lie. And if that costs me my seat at the table, well, that table was rotten anyway. I'm building my own now, and I'm not banning anyone who tells the truth. Final thoughts. If you're reading this and you recognize your own family, the one where you're the scapegoat, the truth teller, the one who causes drama just by existing honestly, know that you're not alone, and know that being banned from a party doesn't mean you're the problem. Sometimes it means you're the only one brave enough to see clearly. My sister's photo exposed everything, but really the truth was already there. It just took a little light for everyone else to see it too.